You know, for years, if you were in IT, Citrix NetScaler was probably the bedrock of your application delivery. It was a constant. But a series of, well, seismic shifts has put a ton of teams at a crossroads, planning a migration that, frankly, once seemed unthinkable. Today, we're going to break down that exact journey, from NetScaler arrival to F5 replacement.
So if you're someone who's built a career around NetScaler, you might be feeling a little left holding the bag, right? Caught in the middle of these big business decisions made way, way above the network level. So how did we even get here? What's really driving this massive shift, and what does the path forward actually look like? Well, let's get into it.
To really get what's happening now, you have to look back. I mean, the rivalry between F5 and NetScaler is legendary in this space. F5 got a head start back in '97, but when Citrix bought NetScaler in 2005, bam, they became the two titans of the ADC world for more than a decade. But look at what's been going on lately. The private equity buyout in 2022, and then the big one, ending perpetual licenses in 2023. These are the moments that really flip the script.
And look, this isn't just me talking or some angry rants on a forum. This quote, this came from a customer reporting what their own sales reps were telling them. I mean, wow. When a company's sales team is reportedly pointing their customers to the competition, that's about the biggest signal you can get that a major fundamental shift is happening. So this whole migration thing, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's really the result of a powerful 1-2 punch. You've got push factors that are driving customers away from NetScaler, and at the same time, pull factors that are drawing them towards an alternative like F5. Let's dig into what those are. The push away from NetScaler is really a story about shifting priorities. First, the money changed. Killing perpetual licenses was a huge deal for so many who treat their hardware as a capital expense. Then, at the same time, you hear all these reports from the community about customer support quality just taking a nosedive. And then there was this, a $2.25 billion acquisition of Rike, a project management tool. For a loyal NetScaler customer, that kind of investment sent a crystal clear message about where the company's focus was really heading.
So just as customers were feeling that push, they were being pulled toward a sense of stability. F5, on the other hand, stayed completely laser-focused on its core mission, application delivery and security. And you can see it in their acquisitions. NGNX, Shape, Volterra, every single one of them made their main platform stronger. That focus, plus their financial stability and, flexible licensing that still includes perpetual options, it just looked like a very compelling safe harbor for anyone feeling a little lost at sea.
Okay, so the why is pretty clear, but now we get to the how. And let's be honest, planning and executing a migration for your most critical infrastructure, that's a high-stakes game. It can feel super intimidating, and the fear of getting it wrong, that is very, very real.
And this quote from a network engineer on Reddit just nails that feeling perfectly. Think about it. The very thing you're doing to make things better and reduce risk can end up causing a catastrophic failure. It just proves that having a solid, well-thought-out plan isn't just a nice-to-have, it is your single most important tool for not having a very bad day.
So, broadly speaking, there are two main ways people approach this. First, you've got the forklift migration. That's the big bang, rip the Band-Aid off approach. You cut everything over in one big go, and you get to reuse your IP addresses. It's fast, but it can be intense. The other way is the piecemeal strategy. This one's more gradual. You set up the new F5s with new IPs and just move your apps over one by one. It gives you time to test and breathe, but it can also drag out and create its own headaches with firewall rules and dependencies.
But here's the thing, whichever strategy you pick, the foundation, the planning, it's all the same. This four-step plan works for either one. 1. You have to analyze what you actually have. You can't migrate what you don't understand. 2. Assign roles. Make it crystal clear who owns what, so there's no confusion. 3. Map out a timeline that's actually realistic, not just wishful thinking. And finally, number 4, communicate. Seriously, over-communicating with everyone is the key to keeping people's confidence up when things get a little tricky.
A great plan is one thing, but you still need the right tools to pull it off. I mean, trying to manually migrate thousands of lines of complex config, that's not just boring, it is a recipe for disaster. Luckily, you don't have to start completely from scratch.
And this question right here,
pulled straight from an F5 Dev Central forum, this is the question every single engineer asks eventually. It just gets right to the heart of it, that very real, practical need for tools that can automate the painful process of translating one vendor's language into another's.
And it's actually pretty cool to see how the toolkit for this has evolved over time. For years, the main option was this old Perl script that only worked on ancient versions of NetScaler. So not a lot of help today. But now we're seeing these modern open source projects pop up, like the F5 Flipper extension for VS Code. It's just a much more flexible and up-to-date way to handle the conversion.
But then, for the really complex environments, you move beyond just simple scripts into these full-on automation platforms. And these things manage the entire lifecycle. They don't just translate syntax. They discover your entire config, they help you validate it, they automate the deployment and the traffic cutover, and then they report back on exactly what happened. It's the difference between a simple file converter and a fully managed migration factory.
So what's the real-world impact of a platform like that? Well, in one demo, a process that could take days or even weeks of painstaking manual work with all the risk of human error that comes with it was done in about 90 minutes. That is the power of automation right there. It doesn't just save time. More importantly, it absolutely crushes risk.
Okay, you made it. The migration is complete. The new F5s are humming along, handling traffic, and the old NetScalers are finally powered down. It's a huge accomplishment. So what now? What does life on the other side of this actually look like? Okay, first things first. You gotta learn the new lingo. But what you'll find really quickly is that you're not learning new concepts, you're just learning new names for them. What you used to call a service group in NetScaler, well, now it's a pool in F5. Services are now pool members. GSLB is now handled by the DNS module. See? Once you get this new vocabulary down, you'll realize you are on very, very familiar ground.
And honestly, this is the real reward. This whole migration isn't just some technical chore, it's a massive career boost. Your core networking knowledge is more critical than ever, but now your tool belt is way bigger. You've got things like F5's Advanced WAF and its super powerful iRule scripting. This opens doors to in-demand skills in Nginx and Kubernetes. You didn't just replace a box, you've upgraded your entire skill set and your value in the market.
And that brings us to our final thought. Finishing a migration like this, it feels like crossing a finish line, and you should celebrate that. But when you step back and look at the new landscape, all the new tools, the security capabilities, the automation possibilities, it starts to look less like an ending and a whole lot more like the starting line of a brand new journey.